I have an interesting pistol here that I'd like to show you today. I have the holster for it. It's the US holster on the back. It has some markings in here. I'll give you a close-up of that. It's real hard to read. But let's look at the pistol that I have. So this is the model of 1911 U.S. Army. It's patented April 29th, 1907, September 9th, 1902, December the 10th, 1905, February the 14th, 1911. Colts. Then it's PTF FA Manufacturing, Hartford, Connecticut, USA, United States property. So we're going to take a closer look at this, and I'll tell you about it, and then we'll do some shooting. The Colt pistol in the .45 ACP was designed by John Browning. The M1911 had the original designation of the model 1911. Later it was the model 1911, then the M1911. And over its time, the pistol has been widely copied. In between the M1911 and the M1911A1, the military has purchased about 2.7 million of these pistols. During the late 1890s and early 1900s, militaries were looking into self-loading pistols, along with the U.S. The United States conducted tests in the beginning that included the C96 Mauser broom handle in the 7.65 Luger, and the Mannlicher M1894 and the Colt M1900. Because of the problems with the 7.65 Luger, not only with the United States and with other countries, DWM resubmitted the broom handle in the 9mm. And then in 1904, Colonel John T. Thompson said that the new service pistol should not be less than the .45 caliber due to the fact of the problems in the fighting of the guerrillas in the Moro Rebellion and in the Philippine-American War. Then in 1906, the trials had several entries that included Colt, Bergman, DWM, Savage, and Webley. Colt, Savage, and DWM made it through. Still, there were some issues with each of their designs, and DWM did not continue testing. That was done in 1907 though DWM did not resubmit it. And then with continued testing done from the 1907 through 1911, while both the Colt and Savage improved on their pistols between each round of test. At the end, in 1910, 6,000 rounds were fired through a single pistol of each design over the course of 2 days. When the barrel got too hot, they dunked it in water to cool it, then continued. Colt passed with no reported malfunctions, while the Savage had 37 reported malfunctions. With Colt Firearms Manufacturing Company, the government, Springfield Army, then there was Remington, UMC, and North American Arms of Quebec, producing the 1911s during World War I, with other contracts going out to others, which were the National Cash Register, Langston Monotype Company, Burroughs Adding Machine Company, Savage Arms, Winchester Repeating Arms, and Carson Brothers Manufacturing of Montreal. With the signing of the armistice, the contracts were canceled, with Savage making parts but never assembled, and North American Arms having made about 100 pistols but never accepted by the U.S. government. And then during World War II, the 1911 pistols were made by Colt, Remington Rand, Singer, Union Switch and Signal, and Ithaca Gun Company. So what we're going to do is I'm going to show you a couple of more 1911s, and we'll be shooting them. So not only today do I have the Colt 1911 Colt, I also have the Remington made 1911, and then a high standard 1911. We'll be shooting all three of these today. And then as a side note, I have also this 32 ACP made by Colt. I won't be shooting that today, but wanted to put it in here with the Colt 1911. So we're going to take a closer look at the Colt 1911. So here's a closer look. When I was looking up the serial numbers on this, I would say this was made in 1913, somewhere March or April, around that time frame. I'm going to turn this over. And if you can see it slightly right in through here, I believe the person that was shooting this was a left-handed person, because using my left hand, it feels like there's like finger indents versus gripping it in my right hand. All right, so I'm going to pull up the Remington made one, and this is the newer made Remington. There's similarities, yet there's differences. You're going to look at this as different, this is different. There's that. The serration here. This is different through there. You have this here. This one doesn't. But overall still very similar in appearances. And this one here is the high standard. Again, the differences are going to be here, also the rear sight. The serrations. This is more closer to this. All right, so what we're going to do is we'll load them up and we'll shoot them one at a time. Okay, so here's my target with the Colt 1911 that was made in 1913. And it tore the paper because I don't have it solid up against it. So if I push, you know, you can see it is a round hole, but it was tearing the paper. I don't necessarily think it's keyholing, because those holes look pretty good. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then for some reason I have this one down here for 8. What I'm going to do is tape over that, and then I'll go to the Remington, and then I'll go to the high standard. Well, here's the one with Remington, and I don't think I did as good as I did with the Colt. So 1, 2, 3, there's 4, there's 5, 6, and maybe 7 there. Huh. All right, we're going to try the high standard next. All right, well, this is interesting. This is with the high standard. I have one there, I have one there, there. So that's only like 4. Gosh, I don't know, surprisingly, where those other ones might have went. Maybe I have some right down there, but I don't know if that's from other times I've shot or not. So overall, gosh, it seems like that Colt 1911 that was made in 1913, you know, at least for me, is the most accurate. After shooting the 1911 pistols the other day, and I was reviewing my video of it and editing it, I noticed that my grip on them, I didn't like it, and I didn't know that I was doing that. So what I'm going to do is reshoot these 2 pistols, 5 rounds each, and see if I can get better accuracy out of them than what I did the first time by adjusting my grip and my hold on them versus what I had done previously. So we'll load these up, 5 rounds in each, and we'll see what happens.
Now they all landed right up there.
Okay, so I tried aiming higher and to my right because the other ones yesterday were really down low and off, so I'm getting a better sight picture for the Remington about where I need to aim. So I'm going to go ahead and see about shooting the high standard. All right, so here's for the high standard. And so then I wanted to come back to my left with it versus where I was aiming with the Remington. So that kind of shows where it's at. I'm still a little low, though if I moved it back over to my right a little bit, that would be pretty good. So between the two, I think I have to aim somewhere in between where I was aiming with the Remington versus where I was aiming with my high standard to get where I need to be hitting, basically center of mass. So offhand, I believe that's a lot better than my shooting yesterday. I'll have to check my video to see if I kept my grip better than what I had done the first time. So thank you. I appreciate you guys watching.